that will affect rate of gas diffusion through the respiratory membrane is the thickness of the respiratory membrane. Now you have a case of pulmonary fibrosis. What happens to the thickness of the respiratory membrane in pulmonary fibrosis? Okay, very good. It becomes thickened. Why? What component of the respiratory membrane? The layers in the alveolus or in the capillary? Those who haven't answered yet, answer now. After this, I will not be asking you to answer my questions. I have to go fast to finish the 2 chapters. Your last chance.
Capillaries, no?
Again, Clark, I will help you, Clark. Fibrotic lung disease, what is affected? The thickness. Alveolus or the capillary?
Alveolar, no?
Sige, what reason, Clark?
Thickened siya, no?
Why thicken? Fibrotic, we have discussed it already. Sige, write your name, Clark. What's your answer? Okay, because of the increased synthesis of elastin and collagen fibers found on the outer wall of the alveoli. Therefore, what happens to the rate of diffusion? Clark, increase, decrease, if it becomes thick.
Decrease, no?
Sige, write your name, Clark. Okay. Now, the other factor here is surface area. Okay? Now, in patients with emphysema, what happens to some of the alveoli? Answer. You have, those who haven't answered yet. Answer, naka-answer ng tanan? Tanawa na siya sa slide, darang answer. Naka-answer na tanan. Have you answered already? Papa? No need of extra point?
Wow.
Sige, what's the answer? Look at the slides. What happens to some of the alveoli in emphysema? What are you watching on your cell phone? You're watching something on your cell phone?
Ako, Dok? Nag-kwan, Dok, PPT.
Louder?
PPT, Dok. Nag-picture ko.
Okay, sige, no problem. Give me the answer. Okay, some of the alveoli become destroyed. If some of the alveoli will become destroyed, this will decrease the surface area for gas exchange. How it is destroyed? By chronic smoking that incites inflammatory reaction that will lead to the destruction of the alveoli. Therefore, if the surface area for gas exchange will be reduced, then what is the effect on the rate of diffusion of gases? Increase, decrease. Those who haven't answered. Increase, decrease. Ito ako answer. Answer na tanan? Ako pa'y mubuluntaryo ninyo o maka-answer mo? Okay, decrease. Very good. Okay? The other is diffusion coefficient of the gas. So we have discussed this already. The higher the solubility of the gas, this easier it will be able to diffuse into the plasma, a solution. And then the match between ventilation and perfusion. What is the meaning of this? If an alveoli is well ventilated, there is good filling of gas oxygen, then what will happen? If there is good blood flow also, through the capillary supplying it, then the higher will be the rate of gas diffusion. Compared to an alveoli that is well perfused but less filled with air. Okay? And the partial pressure difference of a gas, we have discussed it already. Alveolus, partial pressure of oxygen 104, pulmonary capillary 40. The higher the partial pressure difference, then the faster will be the rate of gas diffusion. Okay? So we are done with emphysema, fibrotic. In pulmonary edema, tell me based on the figure, what causes decreased rate of gas diffusion? Those who haven't answered yet. Maka-answer na tanan? Oh, go. Okay. Widening of the interstitial space. What fills the interstitial space? The condition is pulmonary edema. So therefore, what is filling the interstitial space? Anybody? We have discussed it already in our first meeting. Fluid. What fluid? Okay, water molecules shifting from the capillary into the interstitial space. So therefore, it increases diffusion distance. Therefore, decreasing the rate of diffusion of gases. Then asthma. The airways are constricted because of the contraction of the smooth muscles, then swelling of the epithelial lining. So what will happen now? What factor here affects decrease in the rate of gas diffusion if the airways are constricted? What factor slows down rate of diffusion of oxygen, for example, from the alveoli into the pulmonary capillary? What is that factor? It is on the slide. Oh, louder. Those who have the cancer? The cancer na tanan? Or anybody? Asthma. I'm not asking what causes the obstruction of the airway. I am asking what causes low rate of gas diffusion from the alveoli to the airways, to the pulmonary capillary if the airways are constricted or narrow. What factor affects now? Louder?
There is increased airway resistance.
Louder?
There is increased airway resistance.
And then it affects, therefore, what's the result of the obstructed airways?
Swelling.
Louder? My question is, what is the effect of the narrowing of the airways that will slow down rate of gas diffusion? Okay, very good. Decrease flow of air into the alveoli. So that is ventilation. Alveolar ventilation becomes diminished. Low VO2, meaning because of decreased flow of air, partial pressure of oxygen decreases. If the partial pressure of oxygen in the alveoli decreases, partial pressure difference will become narrower or little. And let us questions anymore so that we can finish. Diffusing capacity of oxygen for in the average young man under resting condition is 21 ml per minute per millimeter mercury pressure. Meaning, 21 ml of oxygen will flow every minute per millimeter mercury pressure. So the mean oxygen pressure difference across the respiratory membrane during normal quiet breathing is 11. What is the partial pressure we said? For oxygen, from the alveoli to the capillary, 104 minus 40 equals 64. But if you take the partial pressure difference in all the alveoli, and if you determine, you get a mean or average, then the mean is just 11 millimeters mercury. So how do you now compute the rate of oxygen diffusing through the respiratory membrane per minute? Multiply diffusing capacity of oxygen, which is 21, times the mean oxygen pressure difference across the respiratory membrane. 21 times 11 equals 230 ml per minute, meaning every minute, 230 ml of oxygen will diffuse through the respiratory membrane. And this will be transported in two forms, the oxygen via hemoglobin and via oxygen in the dissolved state. What about exercise? Diffusing capacity increases to 65 ml per minute per millimeter mercury pressure difference. And what causes the increase in the diffusing capacity during exercise? One, increase in alveolar ventilation rate. Because when I exercise, there is increase in respiratory rate. and the other, the increase in blood flow to the lungs, so that the VQ ratio becomes optimal. What did we say during exercise? Dormant capillaries will open. Existing capillaries will dilate, causing accumulation of extra amounts of blood flowing into the lungs. What about carbon dioxide? In the resting state, its diffusing capacity is between 400 to 450. But during exercise, it rises to 12 to 13. So what's the reason for the difference of the diffusing capacity between oxygen and carbon dioxide? Why is it that carbon dioxide has a higher diffusing capacity? Anybody? Is because carbon dioxide has a higher solubility coefficient. Therefore, its diffusing capacity is higher than oxygen because it can dissolve well in solution. Okay. Now state the importance of alveolar ventilation and alveolar perfusion. Now let's talk about oxygen. What is the importance of alveolar ventilation? Meaning, the filling of the alveoli with oxygen. If the alveoli becomes filled with oxygen, then the partial pressure of oxygen in the alveoli will become high, and that will promote, okay, diffusion of oxygen from the alveoli into the pulmonary capillary. Okay? And what is the importance of blood flowing through the capillary, supplying the alveoli, the alveolar perfusion? The presence of blood will allow oxygen to diffuse from the alveoli into the pulmonary capillary. Why? What is the importance of the blood flow in gas diffusion, in gas exchange?
Creation of pressure difference.
Very good. Creation of a partial pressure difference. So, if blood is flowing here, oxygen is returned to the lung, its partial pressure is 40. If air fills the alveoli, its partial pressure is 104. 104 minus 40, a partial pressure difference of 64. So the perfusion of the alveoli via the pulmonary capillary allows gas exchange to occur. Now let's take on the other side carbon dioxide. What's the importance of alveolar perfusion in relation to carbon dioxide? It brings carbon dioxide to the lungs so that it can be expired. After, carbon dioxide will diffuse from the capillary into the alveolus. And the importance of alveolar ventilation in relation to carbon dioxide, during expiration, it will allow carbon dioxide to be removed from the lungs. Expired during expiration. So those are the two important, the importance of alveolar ventilation and perfusion in relation to gas exchange between oxygen and carbon dioxide. It's called gas exchange. Why? Because as oxygen diffuses into the capillary, then on the other side, carbon dioxide from the capillary will also diffuse into the alveoli for expiration. While oxygen moves into the capillary to oxygenate the venous blood. Okay. What is the rationale behind matching of ventilation and perfusion? So what's the meaning of that? That if there is good ventilation of an alveoli and there is adequate blood flow, then gas exchange will occur at a normal rate. What happens if an alveoli becomes less filled with air? So automatic, what will happen? The epithelial cells, alveolar epithelial cells, can secrete a vasoconstrictor substance. In automatic, the blood flow to that alveoli will diminish. Because it's useless to be providing blood to an alveoli that is not well ventilated. Because of the mismatch between ventilation and perfusion. So meaning, alveolar ventilation has to be matched with perfusion. Meaning, if an alveoli is well ventilated, then the blood supply will be good also to that alveoli. And because of a match between ventilation and perfusion, then gas exchange will occur at a normal rate. Okay. What is ventilation perfusion? So it is the ratio between ventilation V, expressed in V, and perfusion of the alveoli via pulmonary capillary Q. So what is ventilation? Ventilation is the rate at which gas will flow into the alveoli, air containing oxygen. And what is perfusion? The rate at which blood will flow through the pulmonary capillary, making possible gas exchange. So how is ventilation perfusion ratio expressed? It is expressed as capital V over Q. Okay. So alveolar ventilation is normally at a rate of 4 to 6 liters per minute, meaning every minute 4 to 6 liters of air will be filling the lungs, the alveoli in the lungs. And the rate of pulmonary blood flow is 5 liters per minute. Every minute, 5 liters of blood will flow through the pulmonary circulation in the lungs. And what is now the VQ ratio? The VQ ratio is determined by dividing alveolar ventilation rate by the pulmonary blood flow rate. So therefore, 4 divided by 5 equals 0.8. 6 divided by 5 equals 1.2. So the normal VQ ratio is between 0.8 to 1.2. So what are the importance of the VQ ratio? So we'll now discuss the importance of the VQ ratio. Okay. Number 1, the VQ ratio will determine the partial pressure of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the alveoli. So it says here, alveolar PO2 and PCO2 are determined by the relationship between alveolar ventilation and perfusion. So we look at the center, this figure. If this alveoli is well ventilated, well filled with gas, and there is good blood flow, then what will be the partial pressure of oxygen in the alveoli and carbon dioxide? Alveoli oxygen partial pressure, 100 millimeters mercury. According to Levitsky, Guyton 104, while carbon dioxide is 40 millimeters mercury. If both ventilation and perfusion are good. So therefore, what determines alveolar PO2 and PCO2 will be the relationship between alveolar ventilation and alveolar perfusion Q, alveolar ventilation P. Next, if there is an alteration in the VQ ratio, what is the meaning of that? If this will be less filled with air and there is good blood flow, then what will happen? Partial pressure of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the alveoli will change. It will become altered. Or if there is no good blood flow, and there is good ventilation, again it will alter the partial pressure of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the alveoli. Okay, let's give an example before we move and come closer. If you look at this graph to interpret changes in alveolar ventilation and perfusion, this point here represents normal VQ. When we say normal VQ, the alveoli is well ventilated and there is good blood flow. So therefore, what will be the effect if the ventilation is normal and perfusion? Partial pressure of oxygen will be 100, carbon dioxide will be 40. We move up this curve, okay? So on the y-axis is the partial pressure of carbon dioxide in millimeters mercury. On the x-axis, your oxygen partial pressure. We move up. What is the meaning of moving up? It means VQ now from normal decreases. So you have a decreasing VQ. What is the meaning of a decreasing VQ? ventilation becomes lower than normal, while perfusion is good. Okay. In what clinical condition can reduce flow of air into the alveoli, and yet there is still good perfusion, resulting to a decreasing VQ? For example, I'll go.
Asthma.
Okay, very good. You have an acute asthmatic attack. It is mild to moderate. It is mild to moderate. What will happen? Diba, in asthma, there is constriction of the airway. Mr. Gonzaga, would you like to share what you are discussing? Can you explain what is decreasing VQ? Pay attention so that you will be not surprised in the exam, in the unit exam. Do not talk when somebody is talking in front of you. That's good manners. Okay? You will become Dr. Sunday, and one of the learning outcomes, competencies you should develop is good attitude. And the way good attitude will be expressed is in terms of respect for one another. When somebody is talking, you should not be conversing with your seatmates. Okay? Sige, we'll continue. Acute asthmatic attack, mild to moderate. What will happen to the airway? The airway becomes narrow. If the airway becomes narrow, less air will flow into the alveoli. So therefore, that decreases alveolar ventilation. So normal ventilation is 4 to 6 liters per minute. Because there is now airway obstruction from 4 to 6, it can become 3 liters per minute. And you have good perfusion. So automatic, divide 3 by 5 liters, it is less than 0.8. So decreasing VQ. So what is the effect? If there is this gas filling the alveoli, the partial pressure of oxygen from normal 100, because we are moving this way, it will also decrease. That's the effect of airway obstruction, resulting to decreased flow of air into the alveoli. PO2 decreases. What is the effect on PCO2? Because we are moving up, carbon dioxide increases. Why will carbon dioxide increase? Sige, answer. Reduction in carbon dioxide, make it complete. Carbon dioxide will increase because if the airway is obstructed, there will be incomplete removal of carbon air from the lungs. So there is retention of carbon dioxide. So it's easy to interpret using this graph. The effect of alteration changes in the ventilation and perfusion if you look at this graph. I will show this graph during the exam. Then you have to interpret to arrive to the answer to the question. So study all the figures. Okay? So that's one. What the students will be asking all the time. Pointers though, that points to the answer. But my pointers will point you to the answer only if you are able to understand the figure and interpret it. Okay? Sige, next. Alterations in DQ will result in changes in oxygen delivery to the lung. For example, acute asthma, mild to moderate. So decrease oxygen delivery. And therefore, oxygenation of the blood flowing through the artery will diminish also. Because there is less oxygen. So the partial pressure difference narrows, decreases. Then the rate of diffusion will slow down. Therefore, what is the effect of some of the venous blood flowing through the arterial end of the capillary? It will not be oxygenated, some fraction of the blood. And we call that physiologic shunt. We call that physiologic shunt. Right? Physiologic shunt. Check it. It simply means as less air will flow into the alveoli, even if there is good perfusion, then it will result to some of the blood, some fraction of the blood passing through the capillary not becoming oxygenated because of decreased rate of gas diffusion. Changes in the removal of carbon dioxide from the venous blood. So we have discussed it. If there is good flow and then narrowing of the airway, the carbon dioxide that will diffuse into the alveoli, some will be retained, because if there is narrowing of the airway, then there is no complete removal of air during expiration that will serve to remove the excess carbon dioxide. Now we discuss VQ ratio. When VQ ratio is normal, describe alveolar ventilation and capillary blood flow. So what happens to alveolar ventilation? There is good filling of air of the alveoli. What happens to capillary blood flow? There is good amount of blood flowing through the pulmonary capillary. So there is now what we call matching of alveolar ventilation with alveolar perfusion. The alveoli will fill with air, good flow into the alveoli. Good blood flow also through the capillaries supplying the alveoli. So that is what is VQ normal in terms of alveolar ventilation and capillary blood flow. What are the alveolar PO2 and PCO2 when VQ is normal? So if we look at this graph figure and this graph, this is VQ normal. How do you know what will be the PO2 and PCO2 if VQ is normal? This is the graph that is the result of plotting PCO2 against PO2 in relation to ventilation and perfusion. So move down, because this is on the x-axis is shown the partial pressure of oxygen. From here, moving down, so it's 104. Move to the left, that is 45. What is carbon dioxide in the alveolus should be 40. Okay? So I show this graph, then I ask, what is the partial pressure of oxygen in the alveoli when the VQ ratio is normal? The answer is just there, 104. And you say it's hard, there are figures, the answers are just there, answers are there. Maybe you fail to understand the figure. That's why you cannot arrive at the correct answer. What is the pressure difference causing oxygen diffusion when the VQ ratio is normal? Give me the answer. What is the pressure difference when the VQ is normal causing oxygen diffusion from the alveoli into the capillary? 104 minus 40 equals 64. What is the pressure difference causing carbon dioxide diffusion? 45 minus 40 equals 5. When the VQ ratio is normal, what happens to gas exchange? Gas exchange will be normal. It will occur at a normal rate. What are the implications when there is mismatch between ventilation and perfusion? The mismatch could either be the alveolus is not filled well with air because of airway obstruction, or there will be no capillary blood flow. And on the extreme cases, in severe acute asthmatic attack, there is complete obstruction of the airway, and yet there is good blood flow. On the other extreme side, the alveoli is well ventilated, but there is no pulmonary blood flow. So those are what we call conditions where there is a mismatch between ventilation and perfusion. Okay, so let's now discuss the different VQ abnormalities. VQ 0, infinity, decreasing, increasing. VQ 0. When we say VQ 0, the airway is completely obstructed, severe acute asthmatic attack. If there is complete obstruction, no air will flow into the alveoli. What about perfusion? There is good capillary blood flow. And why will it become 0? Because if no air gets inside, V becomes from 4 to 6 liters per minute, it becomes 0 liter per minute. But there is perfusion, 5 liter. 0 divided by 5 equals 0. Okay? That's why the ratio is 0. What happens to alveolar PO2 and PCO2? I show this graph, then what will be the effect? This is VQ0. From normal, you move up. So it's there already, provided the answers, PO2 and PCO2. If you look at this side, this is also complete complete obstruction of the airway. So the same, oxygen, 40, carbon dioxide, 45. Why? Initially, if this is filled with gas, what will happen? As it becomes completely obstructed, there will be gas exchange until the pressure in the alveolus of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the capillary will equilibrate. So the same pressures now of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the alveoli and in the pulmonary capillary. So the other implication, partial pressure of oxygen in the alveolus and in the arterial end of the capillary becomes similar to partial pressure of oxygen in the venous end of the systemic capillary. Why the same? Because this is the venous blood that is just being brought into the lungs. So 40-40 satya. Okay? So when this blood, venous blood, partial pressure of PO2 is 40, when this is being brought to the lungs, 40 satya. 40 arterial end of the pulmonary capillary for oxygenation. So therefore, when this becomes obstructed, then partial pressure now will equilibrate. So the same for carbon dioxide is 45. So 45 is the carbon dioxide, and there is complete obstruction of the airway. Okay, what happens to gas exchange? Will gas exchange occur? Very good. No gas exchange will occur. Why? Other than being obstructed. Okay, very good. There is no partial pressure difference. So nothing will drive diffusion of the gases if the pressures of the two gases are the same in the alveoli and in the capillary. Very good. Very good, Sanyal. Okay. When VQ is 0, what happens to the blood perfusing the alveolus? There is still the adequate amount of blood perfusing the alveolus. But the problem, there is no air filling the alveoli. Okay. State an example of a clinical condition where the VQ0 is 0. A severe asthmatic attack. It should be severe. That's why if there is severe asthmatic attack, for a few minutes, if you do not do something, you are now assigned in the emergency room. You're the medical clerk in the ER. There is no resident physician, no consultant. What will you do? Maluding pa mo, hantod mamatay ang pasyente. When you will be in the emergency room, your mind should not be loading. It should quickly give you all the information you need to assess and treat your patient. So you will be able to save the lives of your patient. Otherwise, the patient will die in front of you. So you're a useless healthcare provider. So that's why we train you in class in preparation for the great battle in the hospital. Because you want to become doctors, great power